Have you ever stopped to wonder what is holding me back? Well, you're not alone. We've all been there, standing on the precipice of potential, only to find ourselves tethered by invisible chains. These chains, they're called limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs are self-imposed barriers that we construct in our minds. They are the nagging doubts and fears that whisper, "You're not good enough, you can't do it," or even, "It's too late for you." They're the internal naysayers, the pessimistic pundits of our psyche that keep us from reaching our full potential. But here's the kicker. These beliefs, as real as they may seem, are often not based on fact or reality. They are born out of our insecurities, past failures, or untested assumptions. They may feel like truths, but are they? Or are they simply the echo of our own self-doubt? So let's ask ourselves again, are these thoughts really truths, or are they just limiting beliefs? Where do these limiting beliefs come from, you may ask? Well, let's dive into that, shall we? Limiting beliefs are often born in the tender years of our childhood, a time when our minds are impressionable, absorbing everything like a sponge. Picture this: a young child, hands sticky with paint, excitedly showing off their masterpiece, only to be met with laughter or dismissal. This seemingly small incident may unknowingly plant the seed of a limiting belief. I am not creative. Our society and culture, too, are grand architects of these invisible barriers. They often reinforce standards and norms that can limit our perception of what's achievable. Think about phrases like, "boys don't cry," or "you can't teach an old dog new tricks." These are not just sayings, they become the brick and mortar of our mental walls. The tricky part is that these beliefs are often subconscious. We don't even realize they exist, making them difficult to identify, like trying to catch smoke with your bare hands. Indeed, these limiting beliefs are like invisible chains, holding us back from our dreams and ambitions. What happens when we let these limiting beliefs dictate our lives? Imagine a woman named Jane. She has a brilliant idea for a new business, but she thinks, "I'm not smart enough to run a business." This belief limits her, reduces her confidence, and she never even tries to bring her idea to life. Now, Jane's limiting belief doesn't just affect her. It affects everyone who could have benefited from her idea. You see, limiting beliefs don't just reduce our confidence. They make us miss out on opportunities and keep us from reaching our full potential. So, imagine a world where Jane overcomes her limiting belief. She starts her business and it flourishes. Jane's story could be your story, but the only way to make it happen is to challenge those beliefs that are holding you back. You see, limiting beliefs can keep us stuck in a box of our own making. So, how do we break free from these invisible chains of limiting beliefs? Well, it's not as daunting as it sounds. Let's break it down into digestible, practical steps. First, we must identify these beliefs. They're often subtle, masquerading as facts or realities. Be vigilant. Listen to your inner dialogue. What are you telling yourself that might be holding you back? Once you've identified these beliefs, challenge their validity. Are they based on facts, or are they just assumptions you've been carrying around? Often you'll find they're the latter, and that's good news. It means you can change them. The next step is replacing these limiting beliefs with positive affirmations. Instead of saying, "I can't," start saying, "I can." Instead of saying, "I'm not good enough," start saying, "I am good enough." And remember, if you find this process overwhelming, don't hesitate to seek professional help. You're not alone in this journey. It's time to unchain ourselves from these limiting beliefs and step into our full potential. Let's quickly recap what we've journeyed through today. We've delved into the world of limiting beliefs, those invisible chains that often hold us back from achieving our full potential. These are the self-imposed barriers that hinder our progress, often without us even realizing it. Let's revisit what we've learned about these limiting beliefs. They're not physical walls or tangible obstacles. They're much more subtle and, because of that, far more insidious. They're the little voices in our heads that whisper, "You can't do this," "You're not good enough," or "This is not for you." They're the doubts that creep in when we're faced with a challenge, the fears that hold us back from trying something new, and the assumptions that prevent us from seeing possibilities beyond our current circumstances. We've also explored where these limiting beliefs come from, They're often rooted in our past experiences, shaped by our upbringing, our culture, and our environment. They're the product of the stories we've been told, the messages we've received, and the narratives we've internalized. They're born out of our failures, our disappointments, and our fears. They're the echoes of the negative feedback we've received, the criticism we've endured, and the rejection we've faced. But what makes these limiting beliefs so damaging is not their origin, but their impact. They affect every aspect of our lives, from our performance at work to our relationships, from our self-esteem to our ability to dream and aspire. They create a self-fulfilling prophecy where our belief in our limitations leads us to act in ways that reinforce those limitations. They rob us of our potential, dim our light, and keep us stuck in a cycle of self-doubt and underachievement. However, as we've discussed, these limiting beliefs are not set in stone. They're not an unchangeable part of our identity, and they're not a life sentence. We have the power to overcome them, to break free from these invisible chains, and to create a new narrative for ourselves. We've shared strategies on how to do this. One of the most powerful is awareness. By becoming aware of our limiting beliefs, we're taking the first step towards overcoming them. We're shining a light on these hidden barriers and acknowledging their presence. Next, we can challenge these beliefs. This involves questioning their validity, looking for evidence that contradicts them, and exploring alternative perspectives. It's about shifting our mindset from "I can't" to "why not?" We can also replace these limiting beliefs with empowering ones. This is not about denying our weaknesses or ignoring our challenges, but about focusing on our strengths, our capabilities, and our potential. It's about replacing the voice of self-doubt with the voice of self-belief. And finally, we've highlighted the importance of perseverance. Overcoming limiting beliefs is not a one-time event, but a continuous process. It requires patience, resilience, and determination. It's about not giving up, even when the journey gets tough, and not letting setbacks define us. In conclusion, our discussion today has shown that limiting beliefs are indeed the invisible chains that hold us back, but they are chains that we can break. They are barriers that we can overcome. And in doing so, we can unleash our true potential, achieve our goals, and live a life without limits. Remember, our beliefs shape our reality, so let's shape a reality without limits.